Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Friday, March the 21st. I think we got a 10-game slate tonight, I believe. Yeah, 10-game slate. So a big slate for Friday night, guys. I got some early player props that I do like for this slate. Taking a first look at the board on Friday morning, I've got 3 plays that I'm going to share in this video. We're going to break them down, talk through why I like these plays. Now, as always, before we do get started, make sure you guys hit that like button down below. If you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have an account on Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up and use that promo code NOAH. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, when you sign up with promo code NOAH, play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So this is an easy way to build your bankroll up on Prizepicks. All you have to do is sign up, make a deposit. You don't have to put in a bunch of money. You can just play that $5 lineup, get those $50 in promo funds, and then use those promo funds to play lineups, hopefully win some money with those lineups, and then start to build up a bankroll that way. So go check out Prizepicks, guys, and again, make sure to use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. And we do also have a partnership with Sleeper, so I want to shout out Sleeper as well. If you guys don't have an account on Sleeper, you can sign up, use promo code NOAH over there, and when you play $5, you'll get $55 worth of free lineups. So this is another easy promotion, or cool promotion, and an easy way to build your bankroll up over on Sleeper. You don't have to put in a bunch of money. You can just put in like 15, 20 bucks, play a $5 lineup, win, lose, doesn't matter. You're going to get those $55 worth of free lineups. You use those free lineups to make some money, hopefully, win some money with those free lineups and start to build your bankroll up over on Sleeper. So go check out Sleeper, guys. And again, if you don't have an account over there, sign up and use that promo code NOAH, so that way you get those $55 worth of free lineups. But we got some plays to talk about, guys, for this Friday slate. Now, I do want to recap our plays from Thursday's video. So we only gave out one play Thursday. We paired that with the college basketball free square. The play that we gave out did hit. We took Scotty Barnes over 14.5 PRA. Barnes had a really big first half. I think he finished with like 20 PRA. Wound up playing more minutes than I expected. He played like 30-something minutes for the whole game, which I didn't see coming. But luckily, went over in the first half. I think he went over for the whole game as well if you took his over for the whole game PRA. But yeah, we hit our one play yesterday paired with the free square. Let's see if we can go 3-0 on our 3 picks for today. So first prop that I like for today is going to be a prop on Miles Bridges. So the Hornets are on the second night of a back-to-back. They played last night against the Knicks. And we don't know yet what the Hornets injury report is going to look like for today. They're having to travel to OKC. Again, it's the second night of a back-to-back. Lately in back-to-backs, LaMelo Ball has been sitting out games. Now, I want to say there was a back-to-back recently that he did play in, if I remember correctly, but maybe not. It looks like he hasn't played in a back-to-back. Let's see I'm trying to see when the last time he played in a back-to-back was. It's been a while. Honestly, I don't know if he's played in a back-to-back yet this season. November 16th, 17th. That was the last time LaMelo Ball played in a back-to-back. So I think there's a pretty good chance LaMelo's out today. I mean, you can kind of see the books are expecting some guys to be out for the Hornets because the only Hornets props they have up right now are on Miles Bridges. Like, he's the only player available for Hornets props. So I'm expecting LaMelo out today. And even with LaMelo out, I think this is a pretty good spot to fade Miles Bridges. Again, it's the second night of a back-to-back. They're going to have to travel to OKC. This is a really, really difficult spot for the Hornets to really be competitive. I mean, this game has a 19.5-point spread. There's no reason this game should be competitive. Now, for some reason, every time I take an under in a game and I think is going to be a blowout, the game never blows out. Like, I took an under in a game earlier this season. It was a game with like a 15-point spread, and the game wound up going to fucking overtime. So, knowing my luck, this game will probably go to overtime. The Hornets will probably win this game. Miles Bridges will have a triple-double. But this is a good spot, I think, to fade Miles Bridges in a really difficult matchup. I mean, OKC, best defensive team in the league, even without some of their guys. Like, I think J-Dub's still out. Jalen Williams is still out, but they should have SGA back for this game. He rested last game. They should have Isaiah Hartenstein back for this game. He was out last game. This OKC team is really deep. They have a ton of guys that can defend. They protect the paint incredibly well. It's just a very tough matchup here for the Hornets to really just score. I mean, this is a spot where the Hornets should just get destroyed. but we'll see what happens. But I definitely think this is a good spot to fade Miles Bridges. The under that I like on Miles Bridges is less. than 30.5 PR. Now, there was another prop that I like on Miles Bridges, and it was under 34.5 or 35.5 PRA. His PRA line was at 35.5 before I started recording this video, and it got bumped down to 34.5. So since they bumped down his PRA line, I'm going to take a look at his PR. I mean, you look at his points prop, it's at 22.5. His rebounds prop is at 7. I mean, you add those two together, that's 29.5. We're getting his line at 30.5. So I think there is some value on this under 30.5 PR. Now, if you look at the games that he has played without LaMelo Ball this season, he's played 16 games total without LaMelo. Now, I'm going to take a look at this PR line. I'm pretty sure he's gone over or under this line in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 out of his 16 games without LaMelo, he's gone under this line. If you look at some of the games that he's went over, though, I mean, some of those were some pretty good matchups. Like he faced Dallas. He played 40 minutes against Dallas and went over. He faced Brooklyn, played 35 minutes, had 38 PR. He went over against Denver, pretty good matchup. Denver's been bad defensively this year. He went over against Detroit. He went over against Washington, another great matchup. Went over against Denver, great matchup. Went over against Brooklyn. Went over against Chicago, great matchup. Like a lot of the games that Miles Bridges has done well without LaMelo this season have been really good matchups. If you look at the games where he has gone under this line, he's gone under against Detroit, bad matchup. OKC, bad matchup. Orlando, bad matchup. Went over against Chicago, went under against Chicago. That was a good matchup, but he only played 25 minutes. Went under against Philadelphia, went under against Milwaukee, under against Golden State. But a lot of the games he's gone over have been pretty soft matchups. This is obviously one of the most difficult matchups you can get. He's already faced OKC once this season, went under without LaMelo Ball in that game. So even if LaMelo's out today, I like this under on 30.5 PR for Miles Bridges. If LaMelo plays, honestly, like, I don't know if LaMelo playing would be a good or bad thing, because if LaMelo plays, like, that kind of makes it more likely the game's competitive. But you would think the Hornets are probably still going to get blown out here regardless of if LaMelo plays or not. So I definitely think this is a good spot to fade Miles Bridges. I mean, if you're OKC, your game plan in this game should be to just stop Miles Bridges, because he's the only one on this team that can even do anything. I mean, this Hornets team is just so inept. They don't have any good offensive players, especially if LaMelo is out. Mark Williams, second out of a back-to-back, so he's probably going to sit out this game. Really good spot here to fade the Hornets, fade Miles Bridges. I'm going to take him for under or less than 30.5 PR. If this game goes to fucking overtime, then, that's just my luck, because it seems like that happens every time I take an under on a game that I think is going to be a blowout. But you would think, man, on a second out of a back-to-back, this is a spot where OKC should just destroy the Hornets. So that's what we're going to take as our first prop for today. Next prop I like is going to be a first-half prop. So we're going to take another first-half prop today. Go over to the NBA 1H stat type. You can find first-half props there. And the first-half prop that I like is Kristaps Porzingis for more than 18.5 first-half fantasy score. So we got a game here against the Jazz and the Celtics that has a really big spread, another game that has some blowout risk. If we look at the spread in this game does have a 13.5 point spread. Now, Utah is playing at home, so maybe with Utah playing at home, they keep this game competitive, but I'm not confident that that happens. So I do like to spot a lot for the Celtics to be able to just really put up a ton of points. I mean, Utah's been one of the worst, if not the worst, defensive team in the league this season. If we look at defensive rating, Utah's second to last in defensive rating. Only the Pelicans have a worse defensive rating than the Jazz this season. So this is a spot where the Celtics should be able to just do whatever they want, score a ton of points. And they're going to be without Jaylen Brown for this game. So without Jaylen Brown, that is going to open up a good amount of usage. And Porzingis should be a guy that should benefit here with Jaylen Brown out. If we do look this season in the games he's played without Jaylen Brown, in the first half, he has gone over this fantasy score line in 3 out of 6 games without Jaylen Brown. But if you look at the games he went under against Detroit, bad matchup. He went under against Miami, bad matchup. He went under against Houston, bad matchup. Like, all those teams have been good defensively this year. All those teams are good defensively against centers. This is a spot where Porzingis should have a ton of success facing a Jazz team that has struggled all season defensively, and against centers, they've been a good matchup for centers as well. I want to say the Jazz are like top 5 in fantasy points allowed to centers. Yeah, they're giving up the third most fantasy points to centers. I think they're top 5 in points allowed to centers. And another plus is that the Jazz get blocked at the highest rate in the league. So this is definitely a spot where I think Porzingis could rack up a couple of blocks. And for fantasy score on Prizepicks, you get 3 points for blocks and steals. Wouldn't be surprised if you see Porzingis have a couple blocks in the first half here. I think this is a good spot for him to be able to rack up some stocks to go along with the scoring, the rebounding, and the assisting that he does. And throughout his career, Porzingis has been a guy that typically does well in the first half. Like if you look this season, he has averaged just over 21 fantasy points per game in the first half alone. And that's not accounting for Jaylen Brown and being out or anything. Last season with the Celtics, he averaged just around 21 fantasy points per game in the first half. Like he's typically been a guy that gets off to hot starts. Sometimes he'll kind of cool off in the second half. But given that that fact right there that he just typically plays well in the first half, given the fact that Jaylen Brown's out today, the blowout risk in this game, all that makes me like this over first half prop on Porzingis 18.5 fantasy score. You could take his over on 35.5 fantasy score for the whole game, but again, I worry about the blowout risk. If this game is not competitive, there's a chance Porzingis doesn't play in the fourth quarter, and I could definitely see a scenario going into the fourth quarter. He's at like 33 or 34 fantasy score, and then he doesn't get any fourth quarter minutes, and it loses. But I feel like he probably should be able to get off to a hot start in this game, facing a bad defensive team, a team that struggles against centers, gives up points to centers, and gets blocked at a high rate too. So good spot here for Porzingis to be able to rack up some blocks as well. So those are gonna be two plays for today, guys, and then we got one more play that I do like, and it's another fantasy score prop. So the other fantasy score prop that I like is Tyus Jones. We're gonna take Tyus Jones for more than 17 fantasy scores. So this is a pretty low fantasy score line on Tyus Jones, but the reason it's lower is because Tyus Jones has been coming off the bench lately. We saw, for most of the season, he was in the starting lineup, and then they've kind of moved him back to the bench. And I actually want to take a look at his game log this season coming off the bench because obviously, things are different when you come off the bench versus when you're in the starting lineup because obviously when you start, you're just going to play more minutes. But coming off the bench this season, Tyus Jones has still gone over this fantasy score line, and I believe, half of his games, so 6 out of 12 games, when he's come off the bench and played at least 20 minutes, he is over this line in 5 out of 7 games. And I would think Tyus Jones is going to play at least 20 minutes here because, once again, the Suns are going to be without Bradley Beal. And Tyus Jones has been a guy that has really benefited without Bradley Beal this season. Now, if you look at the games he's played without Bradley Beal, he's played 22 games without Beal this season. He's over this fantasy score line in 21 out of those 22 games, but it's hard to really look too much into that because Tyus Jones was starting for almost all those games. There's only been 2 games this season without Bradley Beal where he has not started, and those 2 games were their last 2 games where he came off the bench. But even in those 2 games coming off the bench without Beal, Tyus Jones still played 27 minutes and 21 minutes, and he went over this fantasy score line in both of those games, 23.6 fantasy score, 18.2 fantasy score. Again, he's a guy that typically plays about 20 to 24 minutes off the bench. Sometimes he can play more than that if he's playing well. And for what it's worth this season, when he's played at least 20 minutes off the bench, he's gone over this fantasy score line in 5 out of 7 games. Tyus Jones this season, in terms of his fantasy points per minute, he averages about 0.84 fantasy points per minute, but in the minutes he's played without Bradley Beal, that does go up to about 0.89 fantasy points per minute. So he does get a little bit of a boost in his production with Beal off the floor. One thing that has really helped Jones without Beal has been his assist rate. He's had a lot of big assist games without Beal this year. His assist percentage goes up without Beal. And Tyus Jones is one of these players that can be productive when he gets minutes. He's typically a guy that when he plays like 24, 25 minutes, he can give you 17 fantasy points. The minutes should definitely be there, even coming off the bench. I don't know why the Suns are starting Connor Gillespie right now. I don't know if they're going to continue to do that, but lately they've been starting Connor Gillespie. We'll see if that continues. Maybe this is the game that they decide. Maybe this is the game they decide to move. I said Connor Gillespie, Colin Gillespie. Maybe this is the game they decide to move Tyus Jones back to the starting lineup and move Colin Gillespie to the bench. Colin Gillespie not really been a rotation piece much of this season. He kind of just came out of nowhere. So we'll see. But either way, if Jones comes off the bench here and plays like 22 to 24 minutes, which I think feels pretty likely without Bradley Beal, he should still have a good chance of getting 17 fantasy score. This is a game against Cleveland. I know Cleveland's a good defensive team, but Cleveland does play at a fast pace. I think they're top 10 in pace this year. This is a game that does have a pretty high total. It is expected to be higher scoring. The total in this game right now is set at 234.5. So we should see points scored in this one, a lot of pace, back and forth scoring, which obviously that sets up well for Tyus Jones, who's a guy that can get you, points, can get you assists, can sometimes rack up steals as well. I think last game he had like 3 steals, and those are huge for fantasy score, getting those steals and blocks because they're worth 3 points each. But yeah, guys, these are 3 props that I'm liking for this slate on Friday. We're going to take Miles Bridges for less than 30.5 PR. We're going to take Kristaps Porzingis for more than 18.5 first half fantasy score. And we're going to take Tyus Jones for more than 17 fantasy score. So let's see if we can go 3-0 here on these 3 picks for Friday, make some money on this slate. As always, guys, I do appreciate you watching these videos and supporting the content that I've been putting out here on YouTube. Make sure that you hit that like button down below if you enjoy these videos. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up. Use promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, place your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck tonight. Thanks as always for watching, guys. Let's all win some money on this slate, and I will see you guys in the next video. Best of luck. Peace.